Okay, now let's look at the first part of photosynthesis, which is the light reaction. And four important things happen here. First of all, the sunlight gets absorbed into by the chlorophyll that's in the thylakoid membrane, and it excites those electrons. And they get excited and they get kicked out. And they get captured by the electron transport chain, which is the same thing that it was in cellular respiration. It's a series of electrons in the thylakoid membrane, and they eventually get picked up by an electron carrier that's called NADP. Now that's like an empty taxi cab. And when it picks up the electrons, it makes NADPH. Now in cell respiration, we had NAD that picked up electrons and hydrogen ions and became NADP or NADH. If it's got the P in it, it's got to do with photosynthesis, which occurs in plants. So maybe that'll help you remember it. But these kicked out electrons will go through that electron transport chain and get picked up by NADP, that taxi cab, that's got to harness those electrons because they can cause so much damage because they're just so energized, and it produces NADPH, which is a full taxi cab. The third thing that happens is water gets split. The reason it splits is it's got to replace the electrons that the chlorophyll lost. And so the oxygen of water, the H2O part of water, it's going to be released into the environment. So that's where one of the products of photosynthesis, oxygen, is released. The hydrogen of water will concentrate in the area inside the thylakoid called the thylakoid space. And eventually it's going to be pumped out through that enzyme ATP synthase, and it's going to make some ATP. So when we finish with the light reaction, we've got NADPH and ATP. Both of those are going to be used in the second part of photosynthesis, which is the Calvin cycle. Now the Calvin cycle happens in the stroma. So we're not in the thylakoid anymore, we're in the stroma. And it's a series of reactions. You see the carbon dioxide up in the top left of the diagram? It's got one carbon. It's going to combine with rubisco, which has 5 carbons. Rubisco is an enzyme, sorry. It doesn't combine with it, it uses rubisco. And it combines with RUBP, which has 5 carbons. So now we've got a 6-carbon molecule. And we're going to break that down through a series of reactions using that ATP and that NADPH from the light reactions. And we're going to break it down into 2 3-carbon molecules. And that 3-carbon molecule is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, but we just call it G3P, okay? And that G3P is I'm sorry, let me back up. We've got the 1-carbon carbon dioxide combining with the RUBP, which has 5 carbons, and they're using the enzyme rubisco. That's going to make a 6-carbon molecule. That 6-carbon molecule will break down into 2 3-carbon molecules. And we're going to use the ATP that we made in the light reaction and the NADPH from the light reaction to do this. It's going to have to go around 3 times for one G3P to exit. And when it goes around, 5 of the G3P molecules will, I need to back up again. It's going to go around 3 times to make one G3P exit. It takes 3 times around to produce 6 G3P molecules. 5 of those molecules are going to get rearranged into 3 RUBPs. That's so you can restart the process again. You got to have it up there to restart to combine with the carbon dioxide. That excess G3P is exported, and it makes sugars and other carbohydrates. So it takes 2 G3P molecules to make 1 glucose. And so if you get 1 G3P, when you go around 3 times, you're going to get 2 when you go around 6 times. So to make a molecule of glucose, we've got to go around 6 times.